What's up, everybody? My name is Jason, and welcome to Small Biz. In today's video, we're going to talk about two train wrecks known as MULN and MCOM, or what one is affectionately known as Mullins, the other micro mobility. What in the world are they doing getting together next Tuesday? Wonder what that's all about, and what are 14 things that Mr. Mullins himself has said in a number of recent Facebook Lives that'll have many of you thinking, what the fuck are we doing in this stock? All that and more coming right up. All right, full disclosure. I own both. Last trade on MCOM, $1.10. I wonder who's running the printing press for the fifth time. You may have seen in the filing quickly last night or the day before last that the one and only Salvatore, who is the CEO of MCOM, it's David on MULN. And then, of course, we have Mr. Mullins, and you're not going to want to miss this, ladies and gentlemen. But we have at least four, and I'm going to include today being 5, with MCOM down to another all-time low, the equivalent of 2 cents a share under HLBZ. So when he dangled that carrot, and I'm talking about Salvatore in the recent earnings announcement about 2 weeks ago, and he said, hang in there, big changes coming. We have lost more than 78% on our money. The average investor, as I just said at the open, is down almost 99.6% in the last 2 years since MCOM, formerly known as HLBZ, went public. But I'll save more about him in a second. I want to start off by sharing with you quickly 10 things that were in the Investor's Place article, which is run by Louis Nevelier, who I used to respect back in the 1990s. But now, as many of you know, he runs a number of hit pieces, including on XELA, which has a fireside chat tonight. I wonder what that's all about. Maybe to beg you guys for somewhere between 100 and a 200 to 1 reverse split. I hope he's got something more to say, and that's par at XELA. But I want to quickly share with you the most recent development that had goosed up the stock to some extent to 12.5. In full disclosure, I sold it all. Actually, correct that, Jason, slow down. I sold half of my MULN the other day at 0.1252. I made 26% on my money. That was a fantastic trade. High of the day, 0.1267. Then I made a mistake, one of several in the last couple of months, and bought it back way too high. Would I have loved to gotten in there this morning around 8 cents a share? Yeah. But if you watched my last video, and thank you for making it one of the most watched of terms of stocks that I've ever done, almost 3,000 views, I said it was even odds that MULN was going to go down to 8 cents a share, where it was at an all-time low last week, as it was in terms of going back up and over 12.5, where we got out of some. And lo and behold, the low on the day is 0.75. So first question, before I go through this, then share 14 holy shit moments from Mr. Mullins and what might be the glass half full reason why these two are getting together on Tuesday. It's Newman's medium roast organic with collagen chocolate peptides from Sports Research. I got it off of Amazon. So if I'm looking svelte or skinnier, if I'm looking radiant, now you know why. All right, what are the 10 things from Louis Navelier's hit piece? Investor's Piece outfit. Muln, MULN, has formed Muln Advanced Energy Operation. We're going to go fast, so follow along. I'll actually pin this in the top comment. I already shared it on Twitter. MAEO, in collaboration with Global EV Technology and EV Technologies. By the way, did you guys know that Mr. Mullins is actually living, according to his LinkedIn profile, in Beverly Hills? But if you call his so-called Wilshire Boulevard office, the number's been disconnected, and the website is no longer in service. I'll leave that one up to you to figure out why in the world the guy who wore a fake fucking Gucci hat in one of his most recent FB Lives and his Rick Ross minus the diamonds bling is positively full of shit, but you have to wait for that in just a second. I know. I'm all over the map, but I'm fired up today. Again, I'm long both. I'm getting killed in MCON. I'm down from a dime on Muln. Muln announced the formation of Muln Automotive Energy Operations earlier this week. It's a joint venture with you-know-who. Muln will own a 51% stake in MAEO, while EVT will own the remaining 49%. And long story short, they gave him $50,000 plus an option, I believe, in addition to the ownership of upwards of $5 million. It goes on to talk about cargo vans. Again, first of 10 things that I want to quickly share before I get to Mr. Mullins. And you're not going to believe. By the way, did you see some of the comments in the last video? There's people from his hometown in Vicksburg, Mississippi that are telling me, and some that actually called our toll-free number, saying that we've known this guy his entire life. Every other word that comes out of his mouth is a fucking lie. But the first of 10 things you need to know is Mullins has plans to equip all of its commercial and consumer vehicles with this new EMM technology. Furthermore, Muln announced that its U.S. provisional patent application has already been filed. It talks about the terms of the agreement. I'm not going to go over these. As I just said, as part of the agreement, Muln will pay Mr. Mullins $50,000. In addition to that, Mullins will pay you-know-who. And why am I not mentioning his name? I don't want to be associated with him. It's not that I have anything against a guy who's obviously black. I live in Atlanta. I have mad love and support from my brothers from another mother. My best friend on Wall Street was from Nigeria. I played college football through college. Lots of black folks. I have absolutely nothing against his skin color. What I do have is an independent who loves this country and spent half his life trading the stock market, 15 years as a stockbroker, is I have a problem with bullshit. And whenever I see it, I'm going to fucking call it out. I go on. He gets $5 million. Plus the $50,000 up front. Again, I'll pin this. Muln and Mayo have not yet confirmed the existence of such contract. And therein lies the most important statement that I've made so far with respect to this article. And put your thinking cap on, ladies and gentlemen, if it's true, or should I say if it was really true, that we had a 10 billion, a 5 billion, 100 million, 100 billion, fill in the blank with whatever number you not deal with the Saudis and or the United Arab Emirates. Don't you think we'd be higher than an all-time low at 0.75, last trade 0.77 as we approach the 2 o'clock hour? Answer, yeah. Look, the feds can't keep a secret. They're always leaking it to the news. If we actually had WSP and or anyone associated in the Middle East that was about to write a multi-million or dare I say billion-dollar check that Mr. Mullen said is already done. In fact, in one of his Facebook lives, he taunts the SEC and says it's a done deal. In other words, why don't you send somebody out right now to put me in handcuffs because I just broke a number of laws, and I'm talking about Mr. Mullins, by spilling what could be, and emphasize in bold print, could be inside information. So I want to quickly go through, and I want to thank the YouTuber who sent me this. Just some of the most outrageous statements that Mr. Mullins has made in the last, let's call it a month or two, in Facebook Lives. First of all, he claims that the FBI, Homeland Security, police, cops, basically anyone wearing a badge, is following him. Oh yes, and he needs to let them know where he's at all times. You don't believe me? I shared one of the videos at 25 minutes. You better roll up your pants because it gets real deep in terms of what Mr. Mullins, and again, his own friends and or family members from his town in Vicksburg say he's positively full of shit. And by the way, does he have some prototypes? Yeah. Did he sell some products a few years ago? Yeah. But has he got a $100 billion, $10 billion, $5 billion deal already done and he's still out running his mouth? No, he does not. The Saudis, this one gets even better. The Saudis have apparently offered him bodyguards. His words, protection, Saudi protection or bodyguards. Watch the video. The YouTuber made a joke. Maybe it's the ninjas. I couldn't quite find them. Ha, ha, ha. It just doesn't. If you're not laughing and going, really? I'm in a stock. I'm involved. I'm believing as I did. And I'm guilty too, folks, of thinking that this guy was actually telling the truth. Number 3, First of all, it was a wealthy Saudi man or men that were involved in the $10 billion deal. Now it's a group of brokers that are supposedly involved in the deal. Now it's a, quote, preliminary deal, not a done deal, but now it's all of a sudden preliminary. He never said it was 100 billion, 10 billion, or anything else, and I'm paraphrasing here, but he said that the Saudis said the company was worth in excess of $100 billion. Okay, let's get this straight. Mr. Rick Ross, right? He's got the fake Gucci hat in one of the videos. You got to see it. I almost went out and bought one. He's sitting there flexing for one of his videos. He's claiming that the Saudis who offer him protection, including the cops and the FBI that follow around, that he's got to tell him where he's at all times because he's just the man now. He claims they told him that his little battery company that may or may not extend the life of an EV vehicle down the road, and wouldn't Elon or somebody associated with that probably have come up with that by now? But let's just pretend for a minute that it's true that this guy, Mr. Mullins, has something. He's told apparently that the Saudis think it's worth $100 billion. Allow me to continue. Electric cars only need a battery to start, and then once in motion, alternators can run it. I don't know if that's what he said or what this guy thinks. He was given a test question. This is also true. I saw it with my own eyes. He was given a test that had 500 questions, and he said he aced it 100%. You got to see it in the video. I'm assuming that the battery's alternator or anything to do with the laws of physics wasn't in those 500 questions. The guy gives me the LOL laugh out loud. He's also getting, quote, 75% from a side deal with the Saudis. So we not only have a joint venture, which appears to be real between Muln, which again is at an all-time low at under 8 cents a share, but this guy apparently has security. He's being followed by the cops. He has inked a $10 billion deal, initially with a wealthy guy, then with associates of a broker. But now they told him it's worth $100 billion. And he also has, if that's not enough, another deal on the side with the Saudis that's where he's getting 75% of the deal. Get it together. He's also got a solution to solve problems with the power grid. Hey, right? They're going to shut down the power grid. There goes your cell phone. There goes your microwave. There goes all the people that are stuck in nursing homes, people that are on life support and hospitals. But fear not, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Mullins, Mr. Gucci hat himself, Mr. Bling minus the fucking diamonds is going to save the day. Not only with Mullins, but with probably MCOM, what I'll get to in a second. But he's got another deal, and he's gonna save the power grid. This motherfucker is worth more money, Mr. Mullins, than Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, other than Vladimir Putin, but that we'll save that for another day. He's also got created a product to help law enforcement shoot some devices at the car. Completely. He's got a device where the cops can shoot it at the cars. You know, maybe when he's trying to pull an OJ to get away from all the trouble that he could be facing, and it'll completely render the vehicle useless, disabling it on impact. He and his family, he's only going to tell his family to buy one share of Mullins. This is amazing. He told his family to buy only one share of Mullins because it's I can't say the word, but it's to prevent insider trading. Folks, I was a broker for 15 years. He just told us that the SEC can take it to the bank, that he's got a deal. Turn around, put your hands behind your back. And if they haven't reached out to him by now, what are you waiting for? Preferably until after I and everybody watching sells the stock. But he tells a family member to buy one share of stock knowing that he has access to non-public information. And he thinks that by telling them to buy one share, not 10 shares, not 100, not 1,000, not 1,000,000, he's suddenly going to be okay with the feds. I mean, what the fuck is this guy thinking? He's going to work on. He's going to work on. He's going to work on electric aircrafts to boost their range. Oh, yes, folks. It's not just the deal. It's not just being followed and protected now by the Saudis. It's not just that they told him his deal with Mullen's is worth $100 billion. No, we're going to keep going on and on and on. In fact, he was called to work, and I'll stop here. You can read the rest, at a secret military base to work on a drone program. All of this has been said. Now, I don't have the exact verbiage, but you can watch what I and many others have. He is working on, I would say, what by now? 7 or 8 projects that got to be worth trillions of dollars. Shame on me. Shame on you. Shame on all of us as I pull up the stock. Last trade 0788. So I did see it briefly up over 8. Again, I owed a dime. As I said in my last video, the deal is most likely absolutely, positively fabricated. I just read to you some things out loud, and it's not a joke, folks. I wish it was. This guy is completely off his rocker. His own people from his own town say he's been doing this for decades. I'm not saying he doesn't have prototypes. I'm not saying he doesn't have the ability to jerry-rig some sort of battery to extend the life. I'm not saying that. But when you start telling people that you're being protected by WSB and or the Saudi security forces, and you got the sheriffs wanting to know, where are you right now? You know, are you wearing, by the way, are you wearing that fake Gucci hat? Is it tilted to the left or the right? Because we got to make sure. And do you have the Rick Ross, you know, the shit that you bought at Walmart? You got that on? You do have it on? You got that little penguin necklace on? Yeah, I'm wearing that one. I'm posted up out front. You can't make this up. This has got to be the most ludicrous thing in the world. So I will try to end with some ounce of sanity. And it won't be much, but it'll be some. If you didn't laugh, if you're not somewhat entertained, you're on the wrong channel. Because I've never edited a video, and I never will. I screw up, I fuck up, I make mistakes, I lose money. I certainly have in the last 2 months. But if you're new, welcome. We don't edit around here, and we've also had over 100 winners since March of last year. We were up 1,600%, 27 winners in a row. Yeah, I know you've heard me say this before. Last July and August. But we're getting our ass kicked in MCOM and NULN. But you saw the news, glass half full to finish here, that Salvatore said he looks forward to going seeing David on Tuesday, CEO of Muln. Last trade MCOM, $1.10. The printing press, in my opinion, is running strong. 5 times that we know of since the reverse split. Everyone, including myself, is down at least 70 to 75% in the last 2 weeks. Last trade on Muln, 0789. Again, an all-time low. Split adjusted, they've taken over 99.5% of anyone's money who's bought the stock in the last couple of years. But why in the world would Sal from Micro Mobility want to do business with David, CEO of Muln? Well, from what I understand, and this has been public for a number of months, most of their bikes, their scooters, their e-rides, etc., are made outside of the United States. It was originally from Italy. He is Sicilian. So if I ever end up at the bottom of a river with a fucking cinder block tied around my ankle, you guys might have a pretty good idea as to who it is. But they want to bring all their fabrication to the United States. And it's been said a time or two that Muln has the ability to produce these scooters, these e-bikes, for what is now known as micromobility. I'm assuming David needs the money and Sal needs to cut costs. Otherwise, according to his accountant, they may not survive bankruptcy in the next 12 months. So, does it make sense for him to talk? Yeah. If they do a deal, will both sides benefit? In my opinion, yeah. Will it bring down the cost of sale, in particular for micromobility, MCOM? Yeah. But the big question in both cases to close out this video is, are they ever going to stop diluting? I guarantee when that stock Muln ran to 12 and a half and I sold half, should have got out of it all. I was watching time and sales. It was 288 million as we got an hour or two into trading. And I'm talking about when it ran to almost 13. And then suddenly it jumped up over 500 million shares in the span of 5 minutes, in my opinion. And I've been doing this a long time. I'm convinced they diluted upwards of 200 million shares of what was almost 800 million on the day. And let's call it a diamond change. That's $20 to $25 million. Now, is that money that Muln is legally allowed to get? Yes. Will that $20 to $25 million, if I'm correct, help the company? Yes. But in order for either one of these stocks to get going, they need to start telling us the fucking truth. Tell us the truth. Where's the production? Where are the bikes? Where's the profitability? Are you ever going to sell a vehicle, David, in the United States to somebody like me who actually goes to a lot? We're not talking about some mock-up or prototype that Mr. Mullins might actually help you with. We're not interested in hearing about the feds or the Saudis protecting you. I don't need to hear that you've got some gadget that you can throw out into the roadway that'll render all robberies invalid. And by goodness, we certainly don't need to hear any more about the fact that Mr. Mullins is going to save the world from the power grid ever going down. It's what I think is going to be World War III. Shut the power grid down, take down the internet, we're all fucked. But I can go to sleep tonight knowing that about 40% of my money in terms of what I'm trading is in the hands of Sal, David, and a guy affectionately known as Mr. Mullins. Until next time, maybe we should all have a whiskey on a big rock. Always remember that I love you guys, and thanks so much for watching.